Hello and welcome to Dario's Comic School, and today we take a look at the comic book or graphic novel Watchmen. So what do I have to say about Watchmen? I got myself this thick thing in the summer of 2014 when I was starting out. But I was reading this when I was in movie school, and I only had it digitally, and I was going through, I guess these are 12 episodes, and I was reading this digitally, but it doesn't hold up to the real thing, to the real comic. This is the physical world. Get yourself some physical comics. Okay, now the sun is coming out. What do I have to say? Well, why was this so influential on me? First of all, definitely a great story about real superheroes and how the world would have looked like if superheroes would have come into existence, because I was always thinking, man, if we had superheroes, wouldn't superheroes just fly to a certain place and just kick the dictator's ass and do something about the world? Like, definitely things that Jupiter Ascending is also asking. And when I was, I'm a history buff. I'm a total nerd for World War II, Vietnam, all of these things. So this resonated really good for me. I love the 90s. A lot of movies came out, like Heat, and a lot of, how do you say it, not violent stuff, but definitely hard-boiled stuff was always in there. Like, the past 20 years has all been gamer, and I was a gamer myself, but it's a lot of soft stuff, and you don't want that. So this definitely resonated with me, and the story starts with a crime, like each good noir movie, and I definitely see myself as a noir movie guy. Why? More noir movies is this. You have individuals that are hard-boiled. You have always a femme fatale. It always starts with a crime, and it will always lead to showing you that the sick individuals and things we do come from a sick society. And I think it's true. And it's also true in this book. So it starts with a crime. As you see, like, the door of this guy gets kicked in, a fight ensues, cops are looking, who was this guy? He was built like a linebacker, and then he was thrown out of the window, and well, they don't know really who he was or why he died, but then a different guy, like this guy here, steps into the scene of the crime, and we can see that he's a vigilante. I hope the light is not screwing this up, maybe it's too much now. And then look at this. And like, the way the comic is structured is so unique. Like, this is this 9-panel grid. We will also take a look at Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns. He has something similar going on. It's not a 9-panel grid, but it's like more 16-panel grid. And you can see we get here now a full picture. And look at this. Like, it's a beautiful street scene. And look at the color. It's simple. It's what I definitely fell in love with. And in my mind, I have here a Dave Stewart book directly on my side. And it's to keep this simple. Like, look, a green on the bottom for a carpet, then you got this costume, and it's very moody, and I thought to myself, if I could draw like this, like the coloring doesn't have to be a problem, and that's what I took from it. But also, like, what can I say about Watchmen? It's just the drawings are great. The storytelling is great. The story that unfolds, because like now this guy, who we don't know yet, finds out that the guy that was murdered was kind of like a superhero. He was like a bad version of Captain America, called the comedian. And he finds the closet and he sees, and so we realize the comedian was killed. And this is definitely place somewhere in the 80s, in a different timeline where superheroes are real. And so Rorschach, this guy with a strange mask, goes up to Daniel Dreiberg. He's Night Owl, like the Batman. And at the time, I didn't really understand. I don't know. I kind of got where these characters come from, but yeah, it took me a while to get into the world, or it didn't took me a while, but it was definitely a new thing, because all I knew when I was reading this was X-Men, Spider-Man, and so this had definitely a different tone to it. Like, how could a Batman like stop doing his vigilante work? And so very interesting things. And I'm very into like 80s retro stuff, and so all these colors resonated with me. I saw the shapes as rather simple, and the coloring as genius. And I thought to myself, man, this is what I want to do. Little did I know how good of a craftsman Dave Gibbons is, that is drawing here. And I don't know who colored this, but yeah, Alan Moore writes great. And so we are in a crime story, we are in a superhero story. Our superheroes do kind of bad things, like Rorschach is breaking here the fingers of this guy to get to the information he needs on who killed the comedian. And then we get into like Adrian Wade. He's like also one of the superheroes, and yeah, we're solving here a typical noir mystery, but also like here we met a Batman-like character, Superman-like character. Now we are meeting the real Superman, which is called here Dr. Manhattan, but he's like purely made out of science. Like he had a failed experiment, and that's what turned him into this Superman. And the first story, the first issue gives you the setup, and it's really great already there. And then as you go, the story gets just like deeper, and we're going towards the clock is clocking down. We're also facing like with the advent of this Dr. Manhattan, the Russians had then to create even more atomic weapons, and so we see how we're really moving towards a world that's even getting worse. Like how do I say it? Really, really bleak. And we get here now a flashback. This is the how do you say it? The comedian Edward Blake gets buried, and so everybody gets the flashback with him, and we find out that he's a real bastard, and yeah, everybody remembers him differently, and we're getting here the situation that he says, okay, are we vigilante? We can do nothing. The world is going to hell. And then we see that Dr. Manhattan interferes in Vietnam, and so the arms race gets even heavier. And yeah, a lot of story, a lot of great stuff. It's all very realistic, very dark and gritty, which I like and love. And as you can see, like, the drawings are amazing. And if you can create amazing drawings and if you can color them, you see, like, here it's more realistic, but then here is just like moody, and I love this. And then we see here the guy, the comedian, getting hurt by a Vietnamese woman who he impregnated, but then he just shoots her because, like, she wanted to get out of Vietnam, but he doesn't want to take her, and so she hurt him. And it's like very, very how do I say, deep story. We're facing here riots, because, like, these superheroes create now not only an arms race with the Soviets, but also a power gap with the police. And as you can see, definitely this noir world is more alienating. And Rorschach, this superhero or super insane man, yeah, what do I have to say? I'm all over the place, but everybody gets to be fleshed out. We're going to have an issue. In this issue, in the second, we learn about the comedian. In the next issue, we learn about Dr. Manhattan and how he came to be. And this is like 12 minutes in. This is the story of I guess John Osterman, he's called, and how he becomes the man he becomes. And so we get a look into every story and how every superhero becomes who he becomes. Here's the backstory of Rorschach and how he becomes a very traumatized child. And so he sees the world in black and white and he wants to take revenge. And yeah, I guess I will stop it here. But notice that great drawings, great coloring, at least for me. I definitely love this because, like, very moody, very simple coloring, but also very, very effective. And as you can see here, like, the line work is very minimal. It's everything you need. And it is a masterpiece in so many ways. I can't even explain it, and I definitely will fail explaining it. But yeah, this is where I took my inspiration for my coloring, because I saw it here that it's possible to color with a few colors a really beautiful comic, that if my ink work is on point, it's enough, that the coloring will complement it. I took a lot of the storytelling from here because it's very poetic and it's not shy to talk about the things that are important to Alan Moore. So yeah, a lot you can learn from this. And now, what else do I have to say? Get it, read it, don't shy away from it. At times it can be very wordy, but it's just a masterpiece. Like, the story is so great. This is like a very good movie. It's very intelligent. It looks great. For the Zack Snyder movie, I have to say, I guess Zack Snyder is a bit brain dead because he never gets the things he does. He just wants it to look cool, which is not that bad, but the movie is very violent, and the comic is also violent, but never for violence sake. It's just the world they live in, and I think Zack Snyder always delights in his gore fest to kind of mask the fact that he doesn't get the source material. So, get this. And yeah, just take a look on how beautifully this is drawn and colored, and it works. So, this is made by masters, and you should study the masters, and know that it takes time to get there, that you maybe will not reach it, but you should strive for it, and who knows, maybe you will put out a masterwork yourself one day. See ya.